So hi all, welcome to the HubSpot Admin Hug. If you took some time off during HubSpot's Global Week of Rest. If you're just joining for the first time there, hi, I'm Deanna Giloff, a HubSpot advocate and admin. When I'm not creating silly Scrabble boards and keeping the hub running with Kyle Jepson, I do run my own HubSpot partner agency, Stratsmark, offering fractional HubSpot and strategy services. Today, I am super excited to welcome to the Hug Shadab Khan. He's a RevOps Strategist from RevPartners, and he's going to help us discover how you can automate administrative tasks, discover key criteria, and approach selling dynamically to keep sales reps continually selling with relevant data on their side. That way we can leverage account-based marketing within HubSpot for. So Shadab, please go ahead and take it away.
Thanks for the intro, Yana. Welcome, team. Appreciate all of you being here. Let's get started then. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to wear this because this is where all the knowledge is coming from. My head is blank, it has nothing. So, target counts, ABM or target counts automations. We are going to talk about foundations. I'll get to that in a second. Little bit of background on, because this is the admin hugs, you guys are HubSpot admins, so you guys are cutting edge, top of the tier. So I want to give you a framework that we follow and it's been working phenomenally for us. So think CRM is a product, not a project. And what I mean by that is, so you folks are product owners, so whenever you guys are building anything, literally anything, think about any solutions you are building: life cycle stages, sales to service handoff, marketing to say sales, sales to CS, anything. Be agile, think like a product, build the first MVP, and then go from there, iterate from there. That's what we are going to follow during this one. This is the foundation that we'll be building. I've already built it, but I'll be walking you through how I built it and how we can think about building on top of that. User experience and adoption is the key. I cannot stress that enough. So let's get into little bit about me. So that is me with the horse. I know horse is much better looking than me, so I brought him in. And so I started my journey as a salesperson plus a CRM admin in a manufacturing company. So I know all the back and forth between the sales and closing deals, running the calls. So I've been there, and I know how it feels to have a bad system on your side where you cannot do anything. So I've worked on Salesforce, I've worked on HubSpot. So I am in a good enough position to tell you, like, okay, this is how we do stuff and this is how we not. Next, I went ahead full on with HubSpot, and this HubSpot architect, that was a real job name in my previous company. After that, I joined RevPartners as a RevOps strategist, and finally, I am here in the role of product manager. So we have a specific team dedicated to building products or solutions in the system. We do data analysis, we run delivery, we support our sales, we support our strategy team. So it's a really fun team to be in. So that's a little bit about me and about my team. Little about RevPartners. So we basically build CRM products. What I mean by that is, what you're going to see is actual product that we have built that we are going to use internally at RevPartners, that I'm going to share with you guys. So we actually call those things as products, like the solutions that you're building. And then we do not just build stuff, we help business drive growth and outcomes. We enable them to look at the past performance and predict future performance, how stuff is going to happen based on the data that you're looking at. And then we are die-hard fan of adoption. We can go every length to ensure adoption. So that's what we do. We have developed a CRM maturity framework. I can share that sometime later. That's a much more dynamic field, where we know that a CRM goes through a certain stages, from all the way from stage one, where you're building on initial foundations and technical setup, all the way to stage 5, where you are generating the revenue data, disseminating it, and enabling yourself and your team to leverage those and drive decisions and actually make those, like, actual business decision. We pull X lever and Y is going to affect. So you can make all of that happen in HubSpot. You don't have to rely with those plenty of different spreadsheets that you have. I see you, I know. So that's little about Rev Partners. Agenda for today. So what is ABM, ABS? Where does it live on the go-to-market? When do you use that? And we're gonna go a little bit about the target accounts tool that HubSpot has offered us. Some of the things that are obvious, some of the things that are not so obvious, and then basically automating that tool so that you guys can reduce the admin task, admin time in that, and sales folks can focus on that. So with that, let's get a little bit on what is ABM. So it's a go-to-market strategy that's used by businesses to target very specific high-value accounts. So we are talking about not lead gen. ABM is not a lead gen. It's true, like I can debate anyone on that. It's fishing with poles, like fishing with a spear. So you have to be very specific on who are you going to target, how are you going to prioritize those, and then you can go from there. So for this purposes, we are going to use account based selling and account based marketing interchangeably. They have their own differences. When you go into this world, it's a very like comprehensive and nuanced, but for now we are going to use them interchangeably for the purpose of this hug event. So where does it live on the go to market? So basically, if you have large deals where your sales cycles are longer, and you have large contracts and the volume of the deals are relatively low, so this is where the target accounts fall in. So you can see this is where PLG lives, where you have large volume and then very low deal count. Think about subscribing Grammarly or something like that. So it's $20 or something. But if you're talking about target accounts, you're actually selling very high value equipments, be it hardware sales. For example, Cisco is selling some equipment to IBM, so that will be one heck of a target account. But software companies have their own target account. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to hit this particular. This is just sample. It's a framework, but the idea is the deals will be generally speaking high value. So when do I leverage that? So you know who you want to sell. You have a list of companies that fall under your ICP. You have Netflix, you have Amazon, you have IBM, or somewhere in the mid market or Fortune 500, or uh, there is like a trend of one too many ABM going on. So if you're into that, then you have a very specific list of companies that you want to target. You have an enterprise sales team. So these are or conditions. Any of these are true, then it's a good indication you can start using ABM or ABS. Then you have a complex sales and pre-sales cycle. So your sales cycle looks fairly complex. So uh, think about, you have to go through negotiation, and then you have to go through IT, and then you have to go through regulatory and all of that stuff. So yeah, you have multi-threaded deals. Multi-threaded deals are your bread and butter. Why I say that? You cannot close a deal with single person involved. You will have 5 people, 6 people, 10 people, 20 people in the buying community, and then you have to engage with all of them, and then you can think about that. And there are many more criteria that I cannot really capture in this just one event. So feel free to let me know what other criterias you think are good for ABM, because you guys are like 10 times more smarter than me. So feel free to share that, and I'll continue. So what we will cover today. So we are going to cover target accounts control panel overview, best practices, automating target accounts control panel. What we are not going to covering today is marketing data and attribution in account based go to market, ABS and ABM strategy talk. So I'm not going to talk about this is how you do your ABS, this is how you do your ABM. That's like strategy stuff. We are not going to talk about that, even though that's important. It's specific and tailored to your business needs. Definitely we can talk about industry specific stuff, but not today. ABM land and expand. So we are not going to talk about the MSA model where you're selling to one company, but it's not actually your customer, and people who work at that company will buy your product, and it's kind of like a complex sales system that's going on. So we can implement that in HubSpot, but not today. And then cross sell and expansion. So for example, you are selling, you have already sold to Johnson and Johnson in Germany, and you want to expand to Johnson and Johnson Italy, France, United States, whatever, or maybe not inter-country but intercity or something like that. We are not going to cover that. So any questions so far?
I'm not seeing any in the chat or in the Q&A. So guys, if you do have any, don't forget to make use of that Q&A panel, and I can interrupt him if there's anything relevant to the conversation.
Okay, so I'm not gonna waste any more time. Not exactly waste, but not gonna bore you with all the theory stuff. We are gonna go tactical. So let's look at the target accounts control panel together. Okay, so this is the target accounts control panel. You can see couple of things on the left and on the top, and this is the main panel where you see all your target accounts. So think of this as a command center where your enterprise team or the relevant team who is executing the ABM will operate from here. So one of the key things that we already talked about is adoption. So adoption will be, um, think about uh, how I can make my team use this particular control panel as much as possible, because there are a couple of key things. How many contacts do I have for a particular account that is in my target? How many open deals do I have with them, and what is the deal value that's coming out of them, and when was the last touch happened, what kind of engagement we had with that particular account, and do we have anything scheduled in future. So this is really powerful snapshot that HubSpot has given us out of the box. It's like often overlooked. And then on the left, on the left you have, no open tasks, no log calls, so you can basically filter out all the companies that you want all of these or any of these activities to be happening, but it's not happening. So you have all these filters natively enabled for you, so you don't have to do a thing. Finally, you have the owners. So whoever is entering this target accounts control panel, they can select themselves as the owner. Right now this is the demo portal, so I'm the only one. And but like if you have 10 salesperson, they can select themselves and they'll see just the account that's owned by them. Ideal customer profile. So you have tier 1, 2, and 3 out of the box. You can create your custom tiers. Some of the common examples are retail or wholesale or manufacturing, if you want to go like a very specific sort of thing. But generally speaking, these tiers work for most of the folks. You can also rename these tiers. So tier ones, what does those mean, and you can add a parenthesis and expand a little bit on that. Don't go too crazy on that, but you can do some customization here. Industry, and it's like self-explanatory. You can select a particular industry. I'm not going to go into that. And life cycle stages, where does your target account live in its customer journey. So it's a very powerful tool. One of the hidden nugget is recommendation and prospects. So recommendation will not work for you until you have a good amount of data. So as soon as you have a decent amount of data, it's going to look into the similarities of what kinds of like companies fit in your target accounts. You can also import them in by recommendation, but we are going to do something much more fun, so wait for it. And prospects, so this is a cool one. It's not going to work for this portal, but if you have a HubSpot tracking code, everything correctly set up, what you can see there are, from the large companies, they have a dedicated IP addresses, like a proper server or something like that. So you'll see, okay, people from Apple are looking at my website, or from Google, or from majority of those Fortune 500 or 1,000 companies, they will have a dedicated IP address. From the point of view in terms of work from home or remote work, this data is getting depreciated a little bit, so it's not super reliable, but still people still go to offices and they work from there. So you'll see a couple of good points in the prospecting tool. Okay, so that was the quick overview. I don't think that any questions.
Before you move forward, we have a couple questions in the chat. What is the interest of completing the tier 2 and tier 3? Aren't they the ones that should be automated? It's from Dennis.
What is the interest? Do you, yeah, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Good question.
Okay. Okay. And then Shireen says, where does the ICP and industry the pull through
Company,
from
company object.
company level? Okay,
Yeah, it's
perfect.
company
Thank you.
object. It's company object, and here's a recommendation that I'm going to share. If you're setting up your HubSpot instance, almost always that is the case. You build a workflow that will push the company industry to the contact industry. It's just a nightmare to see, like, you have a person working in the same company and they have two different industries. It's just so annoying and it's so funny. Like, if I'm working for a professional services company and I have, let's say aerospace in my industry as a contact, that's not fun. So always push and override the value of the contact industry so that both of them are aligned and you can run good reporting. Any other questions?
I think that's it.
Awesome. So custom properties. So these are some of the custom properties as best practices that I have created. um, you don't have to, but these are some of them I have created. The list can go more or less based on your specific use case. So this is just a framework. Treat this like a framework, not a one size fits all. So I have a couple of things. Became a target account date, ended target account date. So basically I am capturing the date when a company entered the target account control panel and then when they exited, and then based on that I'm running calculation how much time they're spending and eating up the real estate in the target accounts control panel. So these are the three properties, and then key buying role associated. So I have only three here. I consider like these three to be like more important ones. So if a contact has a specific buying role, either a decision maker, a budget holder, or a champion, this property is going to get toggled up. We have a workflow in place that I'll get to that when we'll get to talk about workflows. So this will get populated. You can run some interesting report out of it. Things like what are the companies that are converting into customers, and what are the major buying roles that are influencing that. So you can run that kind of reporting. That's the idea behind it. And then target accounts effectiveness. So did your target account efforts succeed or failed or got unqualified in your deal level, or got unqualified in the prospecting? Again, you can tailor this as per your need. This is like a generic overview of what I have built. Target accounts conversion or status. So where does this lives right now? It's a target account, good. Are we prospecting it? Is there a deal open with it, or do we have like won that? It's a multi checkbox property, and there is a fun way to look at that. We'll get to that. You'll appreciate why using multi checkbox is better choice in this particular instance. So these are some of the custom properties. Any questions so far? No
Not
questions?
seeing any, I'm not seeing any in the chat. If everybody's just ready to absorb whatever you've got going on. So keep it up.
Nice. Either I'm boring everyone to death, or either I'm doing a good job. You guys decide. It's clear.
Yeah.
JP.
No, I agree with Juan. It's very clear and concise, and at that point, that's no questions to be had.
Could you please share a demo? How would you create and set up a target account? That's a good question. So you will find the target accounts in here. Once you click on this, you'll get a control panel like this. But if you're doing it for the first time, it will prompt you to create one company. If your portal is totally blank, just create a dummy company and then follow the wizard. It's fairly straightforward. Select any of the option, doesn't matter too much. It's going to ask you questions like, what are you going to use it for? To acquire new customer, upsell to current customers, and two more options. Select all of that and then mark done, and then you'll get this control panel. So let's go to lists. So I'm using lists. You can differ with me and start using directly use workflows, but I prefer list, and there is a very key reason to use lists. So these three lists are gonna hold the criteria and filters to mark folks into specific ICP. So we are going to automatically mark the ideal customer profile. And if you want to update it, you don't have to fiddle with your workflows. You can just update the list and that will take care of the entire thing. So that's why I'm going to use list, because it's more scalable. And any general end user can also, I wouldn't recommend everyone changing the ICP tier triggers very frequently, but a person with authority in sales operations or sales management can do it, and I empower them to do it. They don't have to rely on an admin to update the workflow for every now and then. So this will be much more scalable. So you build a couple of lists. So we'll start with the uh, lists, and then we'll go to the workflow. So lists will cover all the triggers and the workflow will cover the actions. So I have made this split. So but feel free to ask me any question if it's confusing. So tier 1 list. So remember this, when you're building this out, this needs to be totally as per your, yeah, note their company list, correct, as per your needs. So when you're talking to your sales team or any relevant stakeholders, ask them what are the companies that we consider tier 1. When I'm saying tier 1, those are the highest priority, and we are ready to invest our best resources, best salesperson, best everything for them. They will live in this list. So in my example, my fictional company is have this high standard of they have to be greater than 1000 employees, they have to be in states, and annual revenue should be uh, I guess that's 1 million or 10 million, whatever. My maths is super bad. So this is my tier 1 list, and tier 2 is going to be something different. Tier 3 is going to be, you get the idea. So I'm not going to go into each and every list, but the idea is simple. You need to identify a trigger, note that somewhere in a Google sheet or something, and then populate this, and definitely keep updating this. I recommend not updating this too frequently, otherwise you will do like lose the visibility on how much, like which one is working and which one is not. So this is you have the ICP tier lists. Let's go to buying roles. uh, this is general best practice, but even though I've built this list, I have a recommendation that is against that, and I'll share that in a minute. So we can assign buying roles to contacts. Buying roles are very key to ABM in general. You need to know who are in the buying committee and where they fall. Are they gonna block your sales process? Are they gonna champion your sales process? Are they the decision maker or budget holder or both? So you can assign this using job titles, or if you have certain custom model that you have, okay, when a contact checks all of these boxes, they are considered in this particular buying role. So you have this, but I recommend doing this manually, because sales rep will have much more familiar and intimate relationship with the contacts that they are talking to, and that will enforce them to do their homework and their research and identify like who is the blocker and who is the decision maker, who is the budget holder, who is going to write them check. So I recommend doing this manually, but if you want to automate that, there you have it. You build a list, and then we'll come to the workflow very soon. And next is these two lists. These are the most important ones: qualified and unqualified. So this is the compulsory mandatory list, just like the ICP tier. You need to have a threshold where a company hits that certain threshold, they will get automatically moved into your target accounts control panel once they hit the criteria. So for example, in my case, I'm considering all the companies that are already ICP tier 1 and tier 2, and they have a budget holder or a decision maker as a buying role associated with them. So you can think about all the criterias that you want a company to be hitting on the company level, on the company object, and then they'll move to the target accounts control panel automatically. And finally, we have the disqualification. So general best practice is, as soon as they are customer, let's move them out, unless you have a upsell cross sell thing going on using this control panel. In my use case, I'm using it to acquire new customer. So as soon as you are a customer, I'm going to move you out, and you're not going to use any more real estate in the target accounts control panel. And if the deal is closed lost, unfortunately, or unqualified, then also I'm going to move you out of the target accounts control panel. Any questions on the lists and triggers? Because in the workflows, I'm just going to discuss the actions.
It looks like we've got one question. Let's see. If you want to observe data on associated primary contacts, how would you do that? For example, I want to find the oldest date on a contact property among all associated primary contacts. Not 100% relevant, but if you want to go ahead and champion it, go right ahead.
Observe dates on company level based on associated primary contacts. I don't. Yeah, we can take it offline. I need to digest that a bit more, because I think that's not super relevant for my build. But
Sure.
and also, I don't understand the question, honestly.
Nicole, if you want to DM me more information, then I
Yeah,
can
check
pass
it
it
out.
over to
We'll
Shadab.
definitely solve you. So you don't recommend to keep tier one with deals associated in closed loss. That is one of the disqualification criteria. It's not about tier one. It's about once they are already a target account. So if they are not a target account, then that will not apply to them. If they are already a target account, and my purpose is to move them out as soon as they had a closed loss deal, so we our sales team can focus on other things. So definitely, I'm gonna move them out when they have a closed loss deal. But you can see target accounts is equal to true. That is the main factor. If they have the ICP and stuff, and they have a closed loss deal, and they were not even a target account, doesn't matter. It's not gonna work. So, okay, so I think if there is no other question, I'll jump to the workflows. So we have a couple of workflows to cover. And believe me, I have a couple of workflows to cover. It's
Just a
15
few
work.
pages close.
Yeah, just 15 workflows. But these six are straightforward. So we'll run through them. Like I'll run through two, and then others are just replica. So if you meet the criteria that we discussed in the list, of being a target, being in the ICP tier filters, we move the ICP tier to tier 1. Straightforward, simple and sweet, easy to maintain, super scalable. And that goes for 1 to 3. Covered super fast. Any question? If you have any question, let me know. I'll cover a bunch of part and then look at the Q&A back again. Then setting buying roles, same, very simple. You have a list that your job titles or any other factors that are affecting and moving those people in that particular list. As soon as they meet that criteria of decision maker, set the buying role of that contact. This is a contact based workflow to decision maker. That's it, done. So these are the simple ones. So 6 workflows covered in 2 minutes. Good job, myself. Move people to target accounts. So this one is a little bit different. Same criteria, you are qualified as we saw in the list for target accounts. Now we are going to mark you as target account, and then we are going to stamp our custom property became a target accounts date. So we will know, okay, on this date you became the target account for the first time. Next is, my screen is going weird, disqualified. So, okay, there is a delay and there is a reason for the delay. I'm not gonna go into the technicality, but it was conflicting with another workflow when I was building this. So it's better to keep a 1 or 2 minutes delay. It's not the end of the world. But again, if you are disqualified from again using that list, you will set the company property target accounts to false, and then we'll mark the date and ended target account date. So we know, okay, on this date they went out, this particular company went out of the target accounts. So this is where the majority of the build that we discussed gets covered. Now some other key components: target accounts status and effectiveness. Something is happening with my Mac. So target accounts is true. As soon as someone enters the target account, you can consolidate this in one workflow. It doesn't has to be exactly same as my build, but I find this clean and it's easier to troubleshoot. So I'm gonna mark this property as target accounts, status or conversion as prospecting. So I know we are prospecting on them right now. Next is open deal. So as soon as we find, this is a deal enrollment, deal based workflow, so record id is known, and uh, any company associated to that deal is true, so its target account is true, so we are going to mark them as target account open deal. You can see I'm not replacing the value, I'm appending the value, and you'll see why really soon once we get to the reporting and dashboard part. So we are going to append the value, so it's going to have both values now. It was a prospect, it is a open deal now. So you'll see that in a minute. And one, same thing. uh, we are going to look at the deal stage. If it was won and then the target account is true, so we mark the effectiveness to like successful. Okay, we successfully executed the effectiveness, and we're also using like appending the conversion here, the target accounts to won. So why we are doing this, before everyone is like suspicious of me doing this weird stuff, so let me show everyone. So this is the reporting you'll get. You'll I'm trying to be smart and trying to build a funnel, because HubSpot doesn't give us any kind of funnel reporting for target accounts or any stuff. So think of this, take this away as a framework whenever you want to build some conversion that you want to build. Multi checkbox is a good way to do that. It won't give you the percentage, but it will give you the funnel like structure and the count, so you can see that linear manner. Okay, this 9 uh, companies went into target account, 7 of them opened the deal, and then 3 of them actually won, so you can see that. So this is the multi checkbox at your service. What's next? Status is won or failed, so I think we already went to won. Let's look at the failed. So this is a deal based workflow. If the deal is closed, lost, then definitely your efforts failed. You can use different wording or something like that based on your companies. I'm using a very generic and simple terms to make you understand. So the effectiveness was failed for this particular target accounts effort, and I think we have 3 left. So let's go into that. Unqualified, again, this is a deal based workflow. uh, if the deal is moved to unqualified, now I'm gonna take a step back from workflows and go into deals. So you can see I have this placeholder pipeline. It has a stage called unqualified, and the reason I have this is you can have certain custom property here. I've seen this very useful in some cases where deals are not exactly lost but are unqualified for now, and then you can collect the unqualified reasons. So for example, if you're a SaaS company, you can collect, okay, this was a feature related issue, or this was not a correct timing for them. They're still not lost to a competitor, or they hate you or something like that, but there is a hope. So you can have that stage, or you can like you cannot as well, based on your specific use case. So just wanted to share that. And I think we are good to go. Buying role, contact to company, last one, and then second last actually. So buying role is any of these on the contact property. We then check which one, and based on that, we append the buying role, not copy, not gonna replace. We're gonna append the buying role on the company level. with that particular buying role, so that you can run that kind of reporting that we just discussed, like which kind of buying role are mostly converting. You don't have to fiddle around with all those cross object reporting. You can just do it on the company level, plain and simple reporting, just using one single simple property multi checkbox. So that's the second last. And finally, I'm also using deal tags. So I had a the thing going on about adoption. One of the major HubSpot releases that is influencing adoption is deal tags and ticket tags. Use them. Don't go crazy and build like 10 different deal tags for very common criteria. It's gonna be messy. But use deal tags. It's super awesome. So what I'm doing, this is a cross object workflow. Deal is checking where a company associated to it has a target account. Then I have a property on the deal level, which is going to be marked as yes. So deal will check, okay, I have a company and that company is a target account, fine, this property will be marked to yes. And the reason why we do this is to enable deal tags. Deal tags will work only using deal filters and not any other filters. So if I go to edit and then next, you can see this is where I'm using this filter. And what is the use of that? You can see all of the deals in my pipeline, whichever is associated to an active target account, they will not an active target account, but any point in time they were like their company was a target account, will know from the get go, okay, these deals are a target account deal, so we can treat them differently. And now you have all these filters. So tags, so you can even single them out if you want to. So that's pretty much it in terms of the build. Any questions before I go to the reporting is fairly simple. It's going to take like 2 5 minutes, that's it.
We do have a couple questions. You kind of stirred something up when you said use lists instead of workflows. So that's pretty much where they all stem from. Which would you then add to workflow on the other end of the TA equals true if they match your criteria, correct? Just to qualify. Hector says, let's see. I think yes. Let's take that back. That one wasn't one of them. Are you not able to use workflows to set different tiers if you are not on Sales Hub Enterprise, Marketing, and Service Hub Starter? And then I think that was a correction of Marketing and Service Hub Professional. So when you said because you can enable your sales team to go in there and make changes to the criteria.
Yeah, it's the matter of preference. Like in at RevPartners, we use lists because it's much more clean and scalable that we have found. There is a con using lists. You cannot track the changes on a very granular level on the like on the triggers itself. So there is a downside to using lists, but still the benefits outweighs the cons. So we use list because one of the reason is to empower people to go ahead and update them if there is a need, and they don't have to touch the actual workflows and blow everything up. So for example, if you if someone made any critical change in any of the condition, that's going to be very difficult. And if you are working with a very large complex workflow, so it's a better habit to use lists. And then lists are a very good asset where you can literally see who is going into your workflow right from the get go. You don't have to go into all the other settings and dive deep into that. Third benefit is you're using lists, so you can use single list in multiple workflows and different locations, much more scalable. So that's why we use lists. And why it is better for you to use list, mark ICP. Again, you can use this code in the list itself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why we use list. Again, this is not set in stone. You can use the triggers in the workflows itself. There are situations where I use, you have seen not all of my workflows are using lists. Some of them are and some of them are not, because the ICP tiers and stuff that can change over time. So the things that are going to evolve and change based on your business, because your business is going to evolve and change and grow. So I prefer to use lists on that. I hope that clears up why I prefer using list.
Yeah, it makes sense to use the workflows for the infrastructure and then use the list for the criteria. So that way it's more flexible.
Someone
That makes sense.
asked, can you create a list for the companies that counts some related to contacts or related custom objects? Target accounts equals to true plus contacts greater than 2. Yeah, definitely. You can create, like, lists have a bunch of flexibility. Let's look at your filter. So company properties, target accounts equals to true, and we have the number of associated contacts. So it's not a cross object, so super easy. So associated contacts is greater than 2. That's it. That's how you build your list. You can even go granular, like you can use or conditions. If this is true or this is true, and you can use the other associated objects, like you can actually use the filters from the contacts, and then if you're using the contacts, you can use the association labels and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I love lists. Do you have a specific workflow for tier 1? My, like, again, this is totally dependent on what company you operate in, what is your business model, what is your data model, and like which industry you are working on. So that is depends, like that is totally subjective. One one question that you'll have to ask yourself: tier 1 is equals to, I'm gonna spend all of my best efforts in this. My my best reps are gonna work on these accounts, and I'm gonna focus my utmost attention on these, because these are like making sense in terms of both, firmographic and the persona itself. So you can go much more complex than this. This is just a foundation of how you lay that out, and so things are a bit more automated. So think about leveraging lead scoring and the target accounts. So based on certain score, you can put people in. If a particular contact is hitting your website and looking at your assets and stuff, and then you're scoring their behavior and their fit. So definitely you can use all of that. But again, I cannot give you a like a bulletproof filter for tier 1, because that is going to be subjective. Ask yourself question: what is the like best account that I can sell to, both in terms of revenue, both in terms of like effort, and however it makes sense for your business to go to market to those accounts. Will you be showing how to manually add target accounts? Yeah, 100%. So let's go in the company. First, let's filter out who is not a target account. So you click on advanced filters right here, and then you'll get this panel. Target accounts is false, and then, or maybe unknown. So next gen, whatever is that. So you have this. So you can view all property. You can do it much more easier. Like from here, if you want to do in bulk, I'll show you both. So if you want to do in bulk, select all of those, edit, search for target account, and then mark them as true, and then update here, and then it's going to move them in the target accounts control panel. If you want to do it for specific, you go to the specific record of the company. This is on company object, not on contact. And then you search for target accounts, and then move this to true. So hope that answers your question. Any other question?
I think you took care of them all. You didn't even need my help to point out all the questions. So
Sorry.
keep it going. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I appreciate it.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, ask away, or then I'll let you go if you don't. Hmm.
I did put in the survey in the chat, so please let us
I
know what you thought. Any questions, concerns, thoughts on other events, or what you thought about this event. Please let us know.
I do have a little bit on the reporting. So target accounts
Yes.
effectiveness, like this is the standard dashboard that you had a look, and you can see this icon here. So if you're not a boring person like me, you can use super. It's free for 5 users. You can record a loom or something like that and explain your dashboard, and explain the target accounts itself, like what is the target account asynchronously. So pretty good. So you can think about that, and bit of reporting. So target accounts effectiveness, successful, failed, so you can measure like what's working, what's not. And then how much time people are spending. So I'm breaking this down by tier, but you can break it down by industry, by vertical, or whatever custom data model you have. And apart from this, these are all the standard reports that are out of the box provided by HubSpot. This is how you pull them out. So create dashboard, and then look for target accounts landscape. So just import this dashboard and build all your custom reports. That's pretty much it. Sorry, I just missed this reporting part.
No worries, you caught it and shared some very valuable information and some easy ways to get started. We do have one question. Do you recommend to segment every company on the CRM on one of the 3 tiers?
So good question. Actually, this is a very good question. So let's go to custom properties and company ideal. So you have tier 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, so we cannot rename these tiers. So be careful about them. But you can create new tiers. So in one of the instances when I was working with a client, they had 5 different tiers. So it depends. Uh, I wouldn't recommend to partition every single company in tiers if they are not part of the account-based marketing campaign. But if they are, then definitely they need to live in a certain tier. If you are certain that they will be going into the target accounts control panel, not now, not today, then definitely you can do it. You can also move companies between tiers. So that's also you can think about. So let's say you have a certain scoring that on the company level, and they are now tier 3, but based on certain things like a decision maker getting involved, or like a specific amount of contacts getting associated, or a, a like a large deal getting open for that particular account. So you can shift them to different tiers as well. You have to build a couple of automations for that. But yes, that was a good question. You recommend moving companies out of ABM if they have closed, lost, or won deal. What about named accounts that might have reps multiple yeah, that's the ABM, land and expand. We cannot go super in depth, but let's say you have a very specific persona, very specific go to market in terms of target accounts, and you want to keep those companies and even add more companies. So for example, even if you are not selling inter country or stuff like that, definitely keep them as much as possible. If you have those upsell cross sell motions going on for those companies, so that they live in the target account control panel. But if you are selling to Johnson and Johnson Germany, sold, you want to sell to France, then definitely you can move the Germany out and get France in and Italy in, and you can start selling to them. It depends on what legally, on what account level you're selling in. Do you target companies in different uh, companies in target once they are sold for purpose of upsell and cross sell? Yeah, so in my build, I was focusing on new acquisition. So this is how it's built. But if you are looking at expanding, so your target accounts criteria can be totally different. Like you can have the qualified list when life cycle stage hits customer, and then you can start, evaluating how you can go from there, and you can build custom life cycle stages out of customers. So you have the customer Now you want to upsell them, so you can have custom lifecycle stages to move them further in the journey, as you are driving more value for from them, and they are converting more for you. So yeah, good question, Tony.
I'm not seeing any other questions. So I really appreciate Shadab. Thank you for sharing everything and really going into detail. That showing, opening up and actually doing it is, I think, what the admins like myself really do appreciate you going in and doing that for us. So I very much appreciate that. And anyone that didn't miss something, had to step away, the recording will be posted later. I again appreciate it. I will share it out, and thank you so much, Shadib. I will look forward to more of your content on LinkedIn, and everyone have a wonderful day.
Bye team, thanks for joining me.
Bye.